pretty fun going up against Smooya, another player who can be quite explosive with the op.
Yeah, I mean, we see Epsilon's 16 to 11, they beat Pompa. And alternate aTTaX were able to take down Zako Boar 16 to 8, as seen on screen. So, yeah, they've been able to take down some very good opponents. So I'm actually interested to see. I think Epsilon are the favourites coming into this one. I think alternate aTTaX were a little bit, I don't know, I feel like the star power of Smooya might actually just overrun the whole German side.
Oh yeah, definitely, and Cosme not to be forgotten either. But Smooya, he's the first man to find contact. Will be traded back by Sirison though, as he's able to find one with that USP quite fast and take full control of the B apartments now for the CT site to work with. That's going to actually force Epsilon back around to go towards the A-bomb site instead, where right now they're taking a little bit of damage from those USPs at long range.
Yeah, it's going to be a very good sort of start for Epsilon as they kind of force the CTs off the site. But of course, they're going to play for this retake. Oh, that multiple from Robin's a little bit dicey, but Cyrison inside of window takes down 0-0-0. aTTaX goes down as well. And there's now a 2 versus 4 here and making their way in. This retake looks very possible here, Dean. And there comes another headshot. Stefan goes huge and ECFN to close out the deal, and that will be the piss round for the Germans.
Yeah, it was really nice work there on the retake, able to pull that one off. Good performance to get themselves back into that after losing the initial kill over to Smooya in the B apartments. So just good trading. They didn't lose another single player after that point. Just able to pull it off basically flawlessly.
I feel like playing retake on A is actually, on the pistol round especially, is quite easy compared to on gun rounds, just due to this T side are not going to have as much utility, so they're not able to smoke off every choke point. So if you just wait until they start to fade, you're most likely to get to see max 2 smokes. So it should be pretty easy to retake that side after that. But already, we see alternate aTTaX going with a 5 rifle setup into this round. Not going to be playing with the SMGs. Just want to confirm themselves the round win and get those 3 runs on the board here. And ECFN will start off the job by taking the first kill onto Surreal, and a man advantage gain for the German team.
Yeah, and with it not really been a buy into this round either for Epsilon, already losing that initial player, having a massive firepower disadvantage this round, just not really looking like much is going to be found. Ideally, they probably would have wanted to have gotten the bomb planted, maybe get a couple of kills and get some damage, which is still a possibility, but at this point I don't really see them managing to get onto the bomb site and actually get that bomb down for the extra economy.
Yeah, and they've got a good bit of mid control here as well for the T side, so they might be able to do a little bit more. They might be able to do a little bit of damage here. And taking rifles out of the hands of the players is actually something that can be quite underrated at times. Shot from Hunden will take Smooya, and now it's only Robin and aTTaX here, and they're going to boost up here to look over towards middle. 40 seconds left on the clock. And now they're just going to leave it into a 2 versus 5.
Yeah, they probably don't want to wait too long here. They don't want to die off their time. They definitely want to lose these pistols, because in the next round they're going to have enough to buy since the bomb plants came in on pistols. So there you go. 2 final kills are found by Keto and Stefan. And alternate aTTaX get themselves a completely flawless round this time. They don't lose a single player. So only 1 kill so far has come in for Epsilon. But now they get the weapons out, and that's really when they can begin to step it up. But the only real problem with this buy is that due to not getting any success in the previous round, not getting those extra kills to get $300 at a time on the pistol as well, they just don't really have much money for utility. The only utility they have is literally 3 flashes split between 3 players.
Yeah, that's always less than satisfactory, right? But they've got to really rely on the star power, and they've got plenty of it. aTTaX opens things up. He takes down Keto. A bit of aggression from alternate aTTaX here. Not really working out for them. Surreal is underneath the underpass, is able to take Hunden down. Cyrison with 1, and Surreal goes huge with a double kill. Hunden and Cyrison fall, and that does leave only ECFN and Stefan in a 2 versus 4 here. And the stars step up, but Smooya goes down towards B, and now there's a slither of a chance for alternate aTTaX to do damage into this round. Now Epsilon, they've lost one of their players, but still a man advantage lurks in the ranks of Epsilon, and what a nice headshot. Surreal really doing damage in this round. 3 kills for him. And just over a minute left. ECFN, he's got to save this one. There's no chance of a 1 versus 3 retake with only 2 flashbangs.
He gets that 1 kill at least on mid there to start this one off. but I don't really think there's too much of a chance of him actually being able to get this clutch in general, and I don't think he's really looking to go for it either. You can see already backing off through the top of mid, just around into T-spawn. He's looking to try and save himself this rifle, and alternate aTTaX, due to winning their previous round with all 5 players alive, they are still going to be able to buy, so they're in a good position still, where Epsilon, after taking this round with only 2 players alive, once they reinvest, they're not really going to have any money left over, and they could be at risk of getting reset completely, their economy.
Yeah, if they lose this 8k, that will be the worst outcome, but of course, there is that good chance now that Epsilon can start to try and get a few rounds on the board. Really, I don't really agree with that aggressive play towards middle with 2 players. When you know you're going up against, well, not know you're going up against, but if you have a feeling that they got the bomb plant down the first round, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
So yeah, they got the bomb down. It's likely they'll buy AKs into that 3rd round. There's no need really to put some aggression on middle. I see what they were going for. I mean, if you are able to go towards mid aggressively and perhaps catch off a few players, then that's a huge advantage. But walking up there and giving that risk over to Epsilon where they don't have as much utility, finding kills is crucial. And when you give them kills like that, that does give them a chance into the round. And now they will try to capitalize on that. Their economy's still pretty low. I mean, we have a Galil here on Cosmine. Still a bit of utility, and nice Surreal has made his way to the underpass, where he's found a lot of damage in the previous round. And lurking inside of the connectors, ECFN here, Dean.
Yeah, he is actually just going to be forced back off by a good flash from Epsilon, so that should give some chance now for the T's to try and get this map control. They went towards connector, as well as sending the player up short and into the ladder room, so good positions now for the T's to work with at least. But Hunden, he gets aggressive and actually catches the back of Smooya. For some reason, wasn't really being cautious of this position, which is strange considering his teammate was already in connector. He had someone to watch that position. Chak was also over there actually with Surreal, so strange one by Smooya there. So man advantage will actually go in favour of alternate aTTaX. Epsilon, they get the map control, but they go down to a 4-on-5.
And yeah, and this is a position they've actually lost is window. And you can see Hunden is going to be playing a little bit more passive, so they don't have the info for players going to be coming through to shut down ECFN here, but Cosmine's able to grab Keto. ECFN in a good position, shuts down the 2 players from the connector, and that is a huge double to find, leaving only Cosmine, and the Epsilon attack does just blunder, and the bomb left on a 1 versus 4 to save, and he's got a little bit of time to save, so he should be okay. And this is not a round that Epsilon should have lost as convincingly. And it's going to be 3-1. Alternate aTTaX just playing it quite easily, I guess. ECFM just holds that angle. Hunden holds the back lines. That smoke shields him off. They don't check his angle. And multiple kills come his way.
Yeah, and as I said, Epsilon, they were in the danger zone of getting reset due to not really winning that gun round so cleanly. And you can see that's exactly now what has happened. Cosmin at least able to save an M4. Chak is on a double eco, he'll get 1900 on top of the 1700 he currently has, so he'd be gone for a weaker weapon, but the rest of the players should be able to buy in the following round. But Cosmin, of course, after living through that previous round, only has $500, so he's another player who will also struggle, so maybe a double eco right now could be coming in for Epsilon. Alternate aTTaX getting themselves into a pretty solid position early on, and it looks like right now Epsilon just want to make their way onto this B bomb site, aim to try and get that bomb planted to get that extra $800. And Stefan, he's going to get that info quite early. He actually decides to hang around and take the fight, and comes up with 2 quick headshots. Hunden will be the one to also give him some support by finding 1 kill. Smooya doing his best, and it will be enough to get himself a quick headshot with that P250. So 2-3 now. Still a chance for Epsilon to get more damage done and maybe even claim this round. Cosmin gets flanked out, but no shots are yet to be hit.
It's just man advantage intact for the Germans. Smooya now trying to make his way over towards the bench while his teammate Cosmin gets that bomb down. But they're flanked on 3 angles. There's 1 coming from the apartments, 2 from the kitchen. This should be difficult to deal with, but Smooya has a good angle, and his teammates posted up on short, so they've got to really just use their numbers advantage here. Saracen, Keto moves up closer. They will be trying to move in on this bench, and it is going to be Smooya taking the first duel. The engagement doesn't go anybody's way, but Smooya somehow hides behind the bench, gets himself 1, and now it's Cosmin 1 versus 2. Keto does the work, and now the op holding the left angle. That is going to be alternate aTTaX 4-1, and Epsilon, they lose grasp of that round. They came close, but it is going to be alternate aTTaX's round in the end, and they're starting to run away with this one here early on, Dean. Epsilon really need to start to pick up the pace a little bit more here.
Yeah, but they actually done a pretty good job overall. Still been able to get the bomb down and get also 3 kills, I believe, was it? Yeah, they got 3 kills, so that is pretty good work considering they didn't really have much. If they didn't get the bomb planted, they would have been on another eco, so I'd say they did achieve their goals in that round. And now that they have the guns out there, and with a good chance to maybe try and get themselves another round onto the board, try and break the economy of alternate aTTaX. Let's see if that's going to be possible. Damage early on, though, does actually go in favour of Epsilon. So that's a pretty decent start. But Saracen with the off, just holding that angle. Robin walks right into the crosshair, tries to swing on it. And no, Smooya as well. He gets taken down. Saracen is an absolute monster right now. And anyone who gets in his path seems to be just eliminated off the server. Keto, nice spray down onto 2. And ECFN will be allowed to find that final kill in towards Connector. So aTTaX, they take that gun round quite easily.
Yeah, that was a very easy cleanup round from aTTaX, and Epsilon, they're going to be worried about that one. Obviously, when you come into gun rounds, they're very important. And if you're going out of them that easily, aTTaX are going to be very confident, and Epsilon perhaps not so much. But they have a lot of personalities in that team that just kind of have the, oh, I'm better than you anyway, sort of stance of the game. So they should just feel pretty confident at the minute. Cyrusson opens things up towards middle, is able to take Smooya down. And that would be one of the players I would sort of assume would have that sort of mental stance towards the game, but him going down early on won't help their chances in this round. And now they've got to try and find some more damage here. There's a player inside of that smoking connector, perhaps. As soon as that dissipates, the prize could be presented to them, but instead it's ECFN to come out on top, takes down Robin. What a nice shot from Surreal. 2 kills for him, and that will be 3 versus 3. Tapping from the ticket box, Keto will drop T-Sac, and now a man advantage in tax for aTTaX, but Surreal, he's still lurking, and he's playing very good right now. Those deagle shots are insane. Oh, missed shot as well, Dean.
Yeah, this could get a bit awkward, but I think still aTTaX should be able to bring this one back. They have given up the A bomb site, which gives a pretty good chance for Epsilon if they go Connector to at least get the bomb plant. So let's see if they're going to be able to do that. They may try and push forward to find a kill though, which I think may be the problem, because when you're in this 2-on-3, sometimes you might want to go for that kill. You might want to actually go for the win rather than just aiming for the bomb plant, and usually the best thing to do so would be to push forward and try and force the 1-on-1, which right now we can see, or rather the 2-on-1, which right now we can see they were making sure that there was no one in CT spawn. They were looking to try and get a quick fight, and now they do get the bomb down, but it's still going to be quite difficult with 3 players that have better firepower being up against them. If they can find this first kill onto Keto, maybe there is a chance, but you see Keto just lines them up.
Oh, that's as easy as it could be. Keto just thanking his lucky stars right there as he just walks around the corner, and they both present themselves. And that will be 6-1. aTTaX now. A very good start for their CT side. And Mirage is a map that is very much in favor of pug style plays, I would say. It's a very puggy map. A lot of players who do play a lot of pugs will feel comfortable on this map. And I feel like Epsilon, they're going to be a team that has a little bit more of the puggy style to it. aTTaX a bit more structured, obviously having Hunden, legendary in-game leader. He'll bring a little bit more structure to the team, a little bit more sound fundamentals, and Epsilon will likely see the individuals step up on the CT side of this map though, as that's where things are more favoured, I would say. And here comes that standard A execute over the top, flashbang, smokes deploy, but there's a double stack under the wood. Do they expect 2 players to be here? This is a bait and switch play, so Keto walks out. He's going to take a shot. I don't know if Surreal spotted the second player there, but it doesn't really matter when all the plays go down. And that does give them the 2-man advantage now. aTTaX, they've done a good job to hold the fort towards A.
Nice shot by Stefan. He's the secondary upper for this aTTaX lineup, and he always does a pretty good job on it. We can see right now Smooya, he's going to be left alone in a 1-on-4 to try and clutch this one out, and he's just kind of stuck in towards Palace. I think they should be mildly, at least roughly aware this. The player underneath the Palace should have heard when he scoped earlier, but you can see Hunden being cautious at top mid, so maybe they think he could have gone back by this point.
Smooya just really needs to save this off, but he's still inside of Palace, and Cyrusson will take him down 7-1. aTTaX now looking very, very much so in the driving seat, and round number 9 comes through, and Epsilon will get a bit of a buy going here. AKs across the board, utility there as well. No alt presence for Smooya. I don't even think he's going to have an AK unless, you know, he's just going to go with the CZ. This is less than satisfactory beyond belief right now. I mean, aTTaX, they've got everything going with them. The double up setup, they've got the utility, the momentum, the scoreline, and now holding the connector, walking up as Robin goes down to Keto. Hunden about to walk in the edge of these smokes. There's 3 down on this side of the map, and Hunden will grab that for free. Surreal doesn't expect it, and Stefan picks off 1 more. And this is just easy pickings here. Smooya, though, lines up 1, takes his teammate down as well in the process. So now he has a 1 versus 4 on his tail, and the players are hot onto the B-bomb site. They deal the damage. Smooya now 19 HP, will drop the ECFN, and that is 8-1. aTTaX, they are looking very good right now, Dean. I called Epsilon as the favourites, but now is it too late to sort of shift my vote?
Yeah. I've been really, I probably would have thought Epsilon would have been the favourites as well, but honestly I'm not really sure why, because judging by the recent performances, I think aTTaX probably have been the better team. I've been really enjoying this double up setup that they seem to run a lot, especially on Train. I saw Stefan and Sirison were just doing so much damage, and it seems to have transferred over to Mirage. Stefan, he's going to have the opportunity to try and do so once again, and there we go, gets the first kill, and he will play this perfectly by just falling back off the angle, allowing now for his teammates to come in and try and give support, but it gets difficult when they start to close the distance, but he pulls out the P250, at least finds one before falling, and now it's a 3-on-3 with a HP advantage, and originally in favour of the CT side, but Smooya finds a great kill onto Hunden.
Finally, things looking good for Epsilon, but as soon as I say that, Cyrison strikes. 6-9 calls me. Now it's Robin and Smooya to do all the damage, and Cyrison again is inside of the apartment, switches out for 2, and 9-1 alternate attacks. They just seem to keep getting these series of 1 versus 1s where they just easily pick off their opponents. There's no trade, no flashbangs. It just seems so disjointed from Epsilon here on their T side. I really need to see something better come out on their CT side to feel confident about them coming into this one.
Yeah, not only are their stars not showing up right now for Epsilon, kind of their support players just aren't really getting much done at all. Chak is on 1 kill, Robin actually on 0 at this point, and he's a player that's usually quite heavily reliant on the confidence, judging by what I've seen from him in the past. If he gets off to a bad start, usually that's something that will affect his overall performance, but he's a player with a very high skill ceiling, and he can be what really pushes them over the edge in these difficult games. Right now, I think he needs to start stepping it up for this comeback to happen. Only 9-1, so still a chance for Epsilon to redeem this half and make it respectable.
Oh my goodness, Hunden able to take down 2 kills, but it's quickly traded elsewhere, but another 2 come in. And now it's only aTTaX. He's got to find all the kills here. He's taking Keto. Still 2 more to find, and I actually give him a bit of a chance into this one. I think he might be able to do this, especially because of the positioning, and that beautiful one-tap now puts it into a 1 versus 1. Stefan and aTTaX, they've got all the work to do. They don't know where each other are. Well, I think Stefan pretty clearly knows where aTTaX is, but he has no idea where Stefan is. And he's over towards short with 40 seconds left. They can play the time. The mind games come into fruition now. The bomb will be collected. Nice hack. And now Stefan could be wrapping his way through CT. Is it T-Sack or is it Sack? Because a lot of people in chat always shout at me for calling him Sack. Tell me to call it T-Sack. And I hear people call him Sack. Oh, Jack. Well, he catches out Stefan anyway, and that's it.
That was a nice performance. Yeah, I think it's Chak. That's what I've been told anyway by, I think it was when we were casting them in the Farm Skins tournament. I think the E-Frag producers told me it was Chak. So yeah, but it is a second round for Epsilon to work with finally. Really good clutch. I believe that was a 1-on-3 by Chak. So we mentioned him before that round that he was on 1 kill. That's all he needed, a bit of motivation by the caster calling them out. And then he steps it up to finally get Epsilon a second round. But they need to chain some together here. Once again, barely winning that previous round. They don't really build up any economy, and if they get reset now, then they'll be in a terrible situation.
Yeah, their situation would be less than desirable. Now setting up with smokes towards the B bomb site, over towards middle. That's going to be for the window, I believe, from Robin. Ratting a few shots off towards B as well, so the player doesn't elect to get aggressive. But Stefan, he's going to walk right into that one, gets a little bit more aggressive, and comes out with the goods as he takes Robin down. Man advantage for alternate attacks now. And this is where things start to look very dangerous for Epsilon. You've lost a man already. Your mid control strategy hasn't worked just yet, but eventually it will. You can see they've got players now inside of mid. So finally they've got a little bit of map control, but still no kill. And they are pretty much foiled at this point because Epsilon know exactly where they're playing from, and this does limit what they can do at this point because they've lost a man, so you can't really go for a split. So you really need to pull players over towards that B bomb site and give up a little bit of your mid presence, and you're going to be committing up short here. Now they could wrap towards A. Hunden's holding the short position or delaying it at least with 35 seconds, throws the Molotov on down. And if he walks around this corner, there's going to be a player looking right at him. And he has the bomb. That's going to be Hunden. Easy kill for him. And now walks right into the lion's den to Sack. And he'll go down to Stefan with his ult. A nice kill from Cyrus. And as he catches out Cosmin, going for the trade. And the flank will fail as well. Nothing working out right now for Epsilon. He set up pretty well, but it just comes crashing down beneath them.
Yeah, once again, just getting completely reset, and this time they actually have 3 players who are going to be double eco, so I would expect the force bite to come in. You can see indeed those 3 players buy up, as there's Chuck, he gets himself an AK-47, so the sole rifle that they have to work with into this round, not really ideal, considering even on the gun rounds they've been definitely struggling. A few times they managed to pick up the rounds was really just on the back of big individual plays coming in from the Epsilon players, and that's been something that's been quite rare throughout this match so far.
Yeah, it's been very rare indeed, but flashbang gotta come through. Stefan falls off the angle. Now players coming his way, open hand. First kill's his. He takes down Jack. Cyrusen with one. And I tap it away with this deagle. A nice shot from Surreal, but gets shut down instantly. This double up setup on this spot is doing everything. USB will finish off the job, but that was a good hold from the ops. 3 kills for Stefan and 2 for Cyrusen. That B bomb site is impenetrable right now, and that is going to be very difficult for Epsilon to deal with, just getting shut down like that so easily. And now with 2 rounds left in the half, they're going to invest in a couple of pistols here and leave themselves with not too much gas left in that bank.
Yeah, they are going to be buying up once again. Literally nothing left over. At this point, they need the rounds. I don't really think they can afford to eco and keep conceding them. So, probably for the best. Keto, though, he pushes forward. He has the support of a teammate. Robin will be the first one to fall. As a 5-on-4 now, claimed for alternate attacks. And they just line up for the rifle. Just lots of damage being done. The bomb is even dropped. Cosmin trying to come in now from mid is a little bit late, considering he's lost the majority of his teammates already. Any sort of impact he really could have had has been quite negated at this point. Smooya taking a lot of damage, should be found within the next couple of seconds. And yeah, now Cosmin left in a 1-on-5. He's a good player, but I don't think this one's really going to happen. A couple of kills maybe, but just one is found.
Dino was the pessimist. I seen that one happen.
Pessimist.
Oh.
I am not a pest. How dare you?
Yeah, sorry. Right, so, yeah, doesn't really go his way. Now 12-2, last round of the half. 1 round defined for Epsilon and to get themselves 3 on the board, and even looking at that, that is desperate. Alternate aTTaX really have dominated them in this half already. They have the double ops on the CT side, and that has been pretty much the saving grace for them. How many times can Stefan walk in here and find himself a kill? Surreal goes down, and that is another man advantage gain, but Smooya this time might be able to pull something back, and he will be able to take Cyrusen. So the man advantage back into a 4 versus 4. And alternate aTTaX, they still have a good hold, and I don't really see anyone of Epsilon being able to break down the door at this point. I really think that they should have saved last round and given themselves a little bit more of a chance into this round, but doesn't go their way. ECFM will take down Cosmin, and now it's just rinse and repeat here for alternate aTTaX team.
Yeah, right now just not looking good for Epsilon. Haven't been having the greatest performance on this T side. Maybe once they swap over they have a chance, but I think at this point they need to try and at least pick up this final round, give themselves some room to work with, because if not, they'll have to have a basically flawless CT side. So let's see what happens. Stefan, he's going to be here with the op lane from the back of the site, spots out one player. Of course he hits that shot as he has been all game. And Smooya is the last man standing. He has been flanked out as well. ECFN in a good position, able to find that kill for himself. And yeah, it's a 13-2 half in favour of alternate aTTaX. Not really what I expected coming into this game, I must say.
Yeah, this is shaping up to be a quick one. A little bit disappointing as well, because you see these two teams who are at a pretty good tier right now. There's some exciting prospects in both teams kind of rising up, and it feels as though it just kind of is just anticlimactic, I guess. 13-2 first half ends, but you know what wouldn't make it anticlimactic? If Epsilon were able to come back, and to do so, they've got to win this pistol. It's cliche, but they have to win this pistol round. Otherwise, it's going to be alternate aTTaX storming away with this one. And 13-2, it's a very desperate scoreline. So Epsilon, they have to win loads of rounds now, Dean. And investing into this, there's going to be alternate aTTaX. Sets of armor across every player apart from Keto. Double flash and a smoke. And the smoke deploys towards short. Or window.
Yeah, and it looks to just be a fast play up into connector. Nice find by Stefan. Able to take down Smooya early on and give a bit of access towards this A-bomb site, so they will push actually forward. I like this, looking to try and get themselves some real estate to work with. This does tend to help. They're able to find another kill. Robin, he goes ahead and doubles his kills so far throughout this game, his frags, by taking that headshot on towards Hunden. So now 4-on-3, still winnable for Epsilon, but it is going to be difficult. They don't currently have a kit in their possession. They lose another player to Stefan. So Jack and Robin now kind of left in a hopeless situation, and it's getting even worse. The fan's just hitting some amazing shots throughout this game, and he's just not letting up.
No, this is not looking good. So easily picked up for alternate aTTaX. That's game for me, actually. I don't think Epsilon will have a chance coming into this one. Now, I'm the pessimist, but I do feel as though we're going to see the CZs and the Deagle and come out on Epsilon. I don't think they're going to be able to do too much, but there is always that little hope because Epsilon have some really good aimers on their team, so obviously there is that little bit of hope that these players can maybe pull something out of the bag here, and this round needs to be picked up for Epsilon. Otherwise, it's going to be alternate aTTaX map point for them, and they're going to be very confident indeed. They've got the MAC-10s, the 2 AK-47s, UMP, and a Galil here, and lots of utility to work with. There should be no chance for Epsilon to win this.
I don't know. It is CSGO. After all, these pistols can do a lot of damage. Should still be heavily in favour of alternate aTTaX, especially considering so far they just seem to have been the better performing team individually. So you would expect indeed them to be able to take this one with ease, but we've seen upsets in the past, so expect a miracle, but don't hope for it, I guess, is the way you put it. Surreal able to find himself one onto Sirison, and that is the start that Epsilon needed. Sadly, only the MAC-10, I believe, that's going to be retrieved. Maybe not even retrieved, it may be out of reach, but it wasn't really the weapon they would have wanted to be dropped, especially considering there is 2 AKs, a Galil, and an UMP. Any of those would have really been better. And ECFN able to bring one back. Keto also finds Robin, and now back in favour of the T side.
Yeah, man, advantage for alternate aTTaX, and really from the beginning of the round it was their advantage, and now trying to come into this B-bomb site, it has to be Cosme to step up, taps away. Dix Keto now has to reload, but the reload time on that CZ is so long, he will go down in the end, but elsewhere, Surreal doing a little bit more damage, has got himself 2 with that MAC-10, or 1, then picks up the MAC-10, but Smooya, there we go, what a nice headshot. ECFN now gone, and Stefan, the last player, ticks down Smooya, has to find Surreal. And with barely any time left, this has to be a chicken chase.
It's a miracle.
Or a wild goose chase.
That was...
Oh my goodness, it got so
he
close,
was about
but
to walk out.
yeah.
Okay, so yeah, miracle happened. I said expect it, but don't hope for it. Don't rely on it. And it does work out for Epsilon, so it gives them a bit of a lifeline, but still it's a very long road ahead if they want to actually try and get back into this game. That's just kind of maybe prolonging the inevitable at this point.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a life support machine, right? There's nothing... I don't think it's going to be able to pull them out of this one, but it does give themselves a chance to perhaps pull something back and make it look a little less one-sided. They have got themselves the FAMAS, the MAC-10, MP9 and UMP. This should be their round on paper, but of course after what we've seen, you never know. And there goes Cosme picking up the first. The second comes in. Gonna go for the third as well. This could be a good round to pad his stats out. And a nice third kill for him. Could he get the ace here? Because he's picked up the quad and only one more player to find. He's right in front of him. It's Smooya. He's not going to let him do that. He's going to take the fourth kill away, the 5th kill, should I say, away from him. So that is going to be 14-4. Epsilon 4 rounds on the board, and alternate aTTaX, they're going to just eco this one. There's no point in really buying anything. You have such a great lead. Just wait till next round and stomp them out at that point.
Yeah, definitely. They don't really need to force into this one. Just a few pistols invested. They'll look to try and at least do a bit of damage. What's up, Mitch? Yeah, so that's their main goal, really. Just get a couple kills out of this one, and they actually start off quite well. ECFN finds one, as expected, though. The stronger weaponry will be able to bring this one back in favour of the CT side, but oh, the bomb plant may come down from Keto. That's a great find. That's something they probably really shouldn't have gotten. Surreal. I don't really think it was needed there for him to leave the site itself. Pushing in towards ramp, I guess, but that gave the opportunity for the player to just pile out a palace and yeah, get it down. That's an extra $800 that it wasn't really looking like alternate aTTaX were going to get.
And that's really... Sorry, choked on something. Right, that's really just the golden opportunity right there from alternate aTTaX. Able to get that bomb down. Cash flowing through the banks now. And the AWP and the AK is now out with the utility. This could be the final nail for Epsilon. Coming out under that A site. No patience. And it's a triple man kill coming in by Epsilon. 1 kill found by Hunden. And Cyverson somehow pulls it back, but it has to be Cosme. He has to step up. And him and Smooya do the job. And that is going to be 14-6. Epsilon back in the game now. They could get themselves quite a few more rounds on the board. But ultimately, I feel like alternate aTTaX are going to close it out at some point. But Epsilon, they do have the chance now to make that comeback a reality. And sup, Mitch? How's it going, man?
I think once they reach double digits, there's a pretty good chance for Epsilon. I think that's when alternate aTTaX start to maybe sweat a little bit. I'm pretty sure they actually lost a pretty big comeback in their game just before this as well. They came straight from the other game into the server this, and I think they were 12-5 and ended up losing. So maybe once it gets a little bit closer, that'll start coming up in the back of their mind. Yeah. So for their own sake, it doesn't. Robin starts this one off well, able to get himself a second. And now it's only 3 that remain for the T side. But Saracen, he's been hitting some great shots throughout this game, as has Stefan. The 2 players that for me have been kind of the outstanding ones from the alternate aTTaX side. But it doesn't seem like in this one it's going to be really enough to get much. Just that 1 kill. ECFN is the last man standing. Has a dig. Can be dangerous in the hands of a player who's capable with it. Let's see if he's going to be.
Something also very scary if your alternate aTTaX is that Robin's starting to frag a little bit more as well. Jack does finish off the job, but have you seen Robin just out towards middle? Even though they're eco frags, it is still frags that sort of get his confidence going. You can see he's up to 7 kills now. He's overtaking Jack, and he now has that little bit of confidence. Perhaps they can start to carry his momentum, get a few more frags in the board, and Robin's a player that can shift the tides, I would say, for Epsilon at this point. They can maybe get Smooya going a little bit more. Maybe Robin steps up. Surreal obviously having a good game as well, so perhaps we could see something interesting pulled out by Epsilon if Robin can continue this. But again, it's going to be a buy round on both fronts. Alternate aTTaX, they slow things down. The aggression didn't work out for them, so now it's back to the default. 3 inside of mid, 1 towards ramp, and 1 inside of the B side of things. And I actually like this approach a little bit more because Epsilon, they were really thriving on being able to shut down alternate aTTaX. Their nade usage was good, but now picking off another player is going to be Cosmin. Takes Syverson down towards short, has the information. Jack chimes in with one of his kills, and a nice flash from Cosmin. Peeks out, takes Stefan, and now it is a 2 versus 5. A 3-man advantage for Epsilon, and Dean, this is looking very good for the European mix.
Yeah, indeed. Just another clean round looking to be coming in. This time able to just shut down the rifles completely. Keto and the ECFN right now. They probably want to at least try and get some damage done in this one. Nicely placed Molotov. The timing is great. Forces them back. Smee just jumps out the window and takes that kill onto Keto. Probably shouldn't reface this. And yeah, Robin comes in instead to finish that one off. So good round by Epsilon. Able to keep all 5 players alive.
That is probably the best sort of outcome you could get for Epsilon because you want to be able to keep the cash on board. The CT side's obviously a little bit more difficult to sort of grind out the cash, and now we've got Cosmin sitting on 18 and 16. He's got himself 12k in the bank. Down below him is Smooya with 11k. So yeah, there's plenty of cash now on the Epsilon team, so they can buy for the next few rounds. And alternate aTTaX, they've really just invested everything they possibly can into this round. 4 AKs, 1 Galil, a little bit of utility. There is obviously a chance now for alternate aTTaX to steal this one away, but if Epsilon win it, it's going to be alternate aTTaX on the back foot, I would say. And a little bit of early nade usage used up by Epsilon. They'll throw a few nades towards Palace, 1 Molotov towards the underpass. Cosmin spots the player jumping across the window. And he knows the presence is inside of middle on Hunden. Can he get a little bit more luck? He takes down Robin through the smoke. And a man advantage given over to the alternate aTTaX team.
Yeah, alternate aTTaX now getting themselves into a good position. They have a 1-man advantage, but not really going to be kept for too long as Surreal and Smooya are both going to be able to step it up and find one. Nice work by ECFN at least to return that through the ticket boot. So back into a 1-man advantage for alternate aTTaX.
What a nice kill from Smooya. That does allow them to try and come back into this one. The man advantage now dwindled. Flash goes over the top, holding the spot. Stefan, Keto over towards the sandwich. Going to wrap round. It's going to be a headshot from him. So alternate aTTaX. This could be the round that pulls him to map point. But Smooya is there. He's going to find a close shot. Going in for the second. But he's got to pull his knife out. Stefan will take that. A map point for alternate aTTaX. Smooya comes very close. But ultimately, it falls from his fingers, and that will be now the Germans' map point for them in the European mix. They're back on the back foot yet again, but a pause will come through from alternate aTTaX, so likely to be tactical, I would say. After winning the round, you don't want to let Epsilon get back on the trail. You know they're going to have cash. There's going to be another buy on the opposition, so how do we win this here and now? What is the call? Do we go with a set piece we haven't used yet? Something to throw Epsilon off guard a little bit, perhaps? And but they don't have too much cash themselves to work with, even after winning that round. So it is going to be a pretty scrappy biding.
Yeah, it's not great for alternate aTTaX. Chance of them getting reset right now and Given a good chance for Epsilon then to continue building the comeback really, but alternate attacks, they have 7 chances to close this one out. I think they should eventually be able to do so. It would be a bit of a shocker if they didn't, but stuff like that does happen, so I guess we'll just see what happens now.
We're about to see how the events unfold as the time now ticking below the timer. We're underway, and it will be Epsilon. This could be their final round, unless they step it up. They'll have the op out on Smooya, a scary prospect in the hands of this man, and now towards middle they go. Robin going to throw a grenade over the top of the smoke, falls back inside the connector, looks over the top of that smoke. And this is a position where he's actually had a little bit more success. I highlighted it halfway through this half, where he was able to just pick up a couple of kills towards middle and fall back in behind the smoke. He got a little bit unlucky previous round, as he was sprayed through it by Hunden. But now, with 1 minute and 20 seconds left, mid control's been established from alternate attacks. They are just going to go for the standard default play again, and this is something that's worked out for them a lot of the time. Just spread out, try and find a little bit of an opening. The couple of rounds that didn't really work out is because they didn't find an opening, so Epsilon played it well, but this time, Epsilon going to be playing passive again.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen right now. T is looking to try and just come into the B-bomb site. They're not really going to be going in their favour early on. As Smooya is going to be the first one to find a kill. Chak as well gets 2. Maybe able to find a third, but he does end up falling. There's now a 1-man advantage for Epsilon. Should be able to close it out, especially with Robin finding himself that first kill. Seriously in a difficult situation to try and clutch this one out, but he gets 2. Okay, this is looking good now. Molotov goes down towards the perfect position. He's not really completely aware that the player is towards short, but that, at least for now, should delay for a bit of time for him to try and retrieve this bomb. Question is, does he make the correct decision about where to plant this? And actually, he's going to make his way over towards the A bomb site. This could be perfect. Surreal right now, creeping his way up short, but I think he's aware now that it is going to be a bit of a possibility that he could have wrapped around. Saracen gets across, now knows the position also of Surreal, and this is where it gets really dangerous, but that nade is perfect. So low, spamming into the box, the damage is done, and it will be Surreal that claims himself that.
That was the round he had to win, and 21 HP, even a grenade or a Molotov lands perfectly, 1 bullet connects. That could have went completely different, but that nade forces the player to walk out to the left side, and luckily for Surreal, he's able to catch him out, and that will save Epsilon from death and get themselves 15-9. And this is where you said once Epsilon get to double figures, that's where alternate attacks should perhaps begin to sweat a little bit. They have got themselves map points, so they should be feeling a little bit more comfortable, but Epsilon, they will most likely be able to get to their map point, their double figure, should I say, because they're only going up against Glocks and alternate attacks. They're playing this for the next round. No investment at all, so they're not even going to be trying to find damage, just likely just group up with the Glocks and try and find at least 1 kill. If you can get a bomb plant, that would be insane, but I don't think that's even on the cards right now, and they will walk out of the ramp, get shut down by Surreal, but a nice kill from Stefan. Damage is being dealt with these Glocks as Stefan gets himself a second, and now it's just going to be Smooya. He's going to finish off the job. PT50, going to be the kill for him, 15-10. It's going to be double figures here for Epsilon Dean, and this could be their chance back into this game. And it obviously, coming in from the first half, it looks so dominant. The scoreline was massive, but now it's a little bit closer.
Yeah, this is, as I said, once Epsilon start getting the double digits, that's when I'd be a little bit afraid if I was on alternate attacks, so could be a little bit awkward, but still, they have a good few chances to close this one out. Epsilon, though, starting to definitely feel a little bit more confident now, and they're definitely trying to cheer each other up, saying, we can do this, guys, we can definitely bring this one back. Smooya and Surreal, they're going to be able to open this one up once again, and this gun round's just gone all in favour of Epsilon. Not a single kill to be found by alternate attacks, and barely any damage so far. Eventually, Hunden gets 1, but will be traded out instantly by the opposite Smooya.
So it doesn't really work out for them, and alternate attacks now should be starting to sweat, because Epsilon 15-11, they're 4 rounds away from coming back to overtime, and coming in for this first half, I just personally didn't think overtime would even be an option, but Epsilon, they will surprise me, and the 13-2 scoreline is made 15-11. Robin, a nice little headshot, takes down Stefan, and now another kill from Smooya. This is going to be Epsilon steamrolling the Germans, and this is looking very good right now. Epsilon will get themselves 12 on the board, most likely. I keep saying these things, and they always go the other way, so I have to add that little most likely thing in. But anyway, Cyberson, he'll take down Surreal, gets dropped by Robin, and now it's literally only ACFM with a Glock. This will go 15 to 12. There's no chance for him. I can be sure of that. And now it'll be most likely aTTaX perhaps getting a little bit nervous. Epsilon will be getting that confidence going. And I did say coming into the second half, we'll likely see if Epsilon are going to step up. It has to be on the CT side because that's where their individuals will start to step up. But if we look at the scoreboard, it's now Smooya topping that, topping the frag count, but Cosmin at the top of the table. So the two players you highlighted before the game started, they're up there at the top of the scoreboard, Dean.
Yeah, as you would really expect, they're the two players that need to be up there. But I think, I think actually Robin has definitely stepped it up on the CT side, 17 to 23 right now. Chak's still a little bit behind. He's another player who sometimes shows up as the third star, maybe the third along with Surreal. It's kind of, they differ from game to game, and in this one he just hasn't really been up there. Right now Surreal is doing a pretty decent job, but you can see since at least these players have started to step it up, it's definitely shown in their performance. They've been able to bring it back now to such a more respectable scoreline. They're still in with a good chance to try and force this into the overtime. The guns are back out now for alternate attacks though, and they're just going to focus on getting this mid control. Smooya kind of forced back off of his post into a much more passive position now to just watch for that cross instead.
Yeah, you got 4 players in mid now, 4 alternate attacks, a little bit different. We haven't seen this play come in, and Smooya very good, able to take Hunden down as he tries to go up towards short, and that will be the man advantage given on over the Epsilon. And that's exactly what they need coming into this one. The double up setup. The player from Underwood. Robin's grabbing one, but he gets traded from the Stefan. But luckily for him, Surreal's in CT deals with the Palace problem. And now it is going to be a 4 versus 2. 2-man advantage for the European mix. And they hold on to their fort. 35 seconds left. Alternate attacks try to get their way onto this A-bomb site, but it's being held quite aggressively, I would say, from these CTs. Flashbang comes through. Smooya walks right through that smoke, takes down Cyberson, and back Stefan into a corner where he'll make mincemeat of him. 15 to 13, Dean.
Yeah, no, this is getting really close. Alternate attacks, you can see they don't have enough to buy into this round. That means most likely just going to be pistols, maybe Kevlar, and then one more gun round, giving Epsilon a great chance to get this into overtime.
Overtime would be a very exciting prospect, especially between these two teams. They're looking very confident on both. Well, not so much on alternate attacks now, but they did look pretty confident towards the start. And there's obviously players in the mix that are just so strong. We see on the scoreboard 27 and 15 for Stefan, Cyberson 24 and 16. Everyone kind of chiming in. So it's really just coming down to alternate attacks not winning the fundamental rounds that are needed. But now they have themselves a bit of an eco round. There's 2 players with armor. The rest do not have any. Robin holding the connectors, able to grab 2 quick kills. ECFN and Stefan go down, and Robin with a triple. Gotta go for the quad here. And this is good for him. He's just grinding out all of these eco frags, padding on his stats, giving himself confidence. And now it's only Keto and Cyberson. Cyberson about to Molotov out of that corner. Surreal takes him down, and now it's only Keto. He has an AK. So if he can save that or do damage, that's at least something in the round gained by alternate attacks.
Yeah, I think at this point you should probably just go for it, try and actually win the round. It's difficult to do, but it's definitely possible. They have enough to buy in the following one, no matter what, due to having the full money bonus built up. So it looks like he should at least be moving forward. May walk right into Chak, who does actually win that fight out. So good work by Epsilon rather to get that round. And now it's only 1. So either alternate attacks now close this one on the 30th round, or Epsilon are going to force it into overtime.
Yeah, this is unbelievable. It's come all the way to the 30th round and coming in from a 13 to 2 half. That is something I just didn't think was in the question. And let me see, we've got here now. It's do or die time for alternate attacks. They have got themselves all of the utility, the AWP and Cyberson. It really needs to come their way if they want to win this game here and now. Otherwise, it's going to overtime, and Epsilon, they're in the driving seat right now. They have all the momentum. Their stars are starting to shine. And even Robin's now starting to step up as well. He's sitting on 21 and 24. He's the second highest fragger on the team. And I said that this is a man, he had 2 frags coming in the second half, I believe. So really, I said as soon as Robin starts to get going on that CT side, that's going to be a scary prospect for alternate attacks. And look where we are now, 1 round away from overtime. And alternate attacks, they seem to be shaping up towards this A site. And this is going to be a full hit coming in. Smoke for the stairs, smoke for the CT, smoke for the connector cross as well. Robin gets blinded off, but he's good in this position. This might be a little bit difficult to deal with. And now Dean, this push will come in. 4 from the ramp, 1 from the palace, and here they go.
Yeah, the CTs, they still had a lot of utility though to throw down and try and delay this push for as long as possible. Bit of a gap in the smoke. Surreal actually gets the leg shot and gets it again. For the smoke twice, they're able to just use the footsteps to pinpoint the position and gain an advantage for the CT side, which once again is just being traded out. Jack able to bring it back on the Hunden though, so Epsilon, they retain the man advantage for the moment, and it's going to be the T is kind of struggling to get out of the ramp. They haven't been able to actually get onto the bomb site. The bomb stuck back towards Tetris, which is basically the worst position. Smooya, that timing was just absolutely horrible. He would have had himself a kill, but either way, Surreal gets one. Smooya comes out with the op also and shuts down Searson, and now Stefan is the last man standing. He's no longer standing, he's lying down now in the fetal position, as we are indeed heading into overtime.
Yeah, overtime indeed. And talking about the fetal position, I'd say alternate aTTaX have tucked themselves up, because right now they are losing control. They only win 2 rounds on their T side. And Epsilon, they have it all. 13 rounds on their CT side. So they are looking very, very good indeed. And this is where things become a little bit dicey. As we move into overtime, Epsilon, I believe their T side was only poor because their stars weren't showing up and they hadn't perhaps warmed up. Alternate aTTaX T side was good because of Epsilon being poor, and their CT side, it wasn't. Their CT side was good because their stars were stepping up and Epsilon were a little bit perhaps lackluster. And then when Alternate aTTaX switched over onto that T side, they looked a bit shaky. I mean, we didn't see too much happen. Stefan and Cyrusen, they kind of dropped off a little bit. That defense on the B bomb site was huge when they were on the CT side. So dropping off on that T side a little bit. They don't really have their sort of impact strikes coming through, and that will allow Epsilon back into the game now. First round of overtime number 1. The double op setups pulled out by Epsilon as they will start in the CT side, and that's exactly where they want to begin because they want to get a good start into this first round of overtime. Cyrus and Robin towards the connector. Man advantage for alternate aTTaX now. Cyrus can get a look for some more action, but of course, Epsilon, this is kind of the first round we've seen perhaps them lose the man advantage, and it kind of go untraded. And no one looking to get aggressive to try and find a trade as well, so perhaps the pressure of overtime.
Yeah, not a great start. Not a great start for Epsilon to lose the opening advantage in this round. Alternate aTTaX, maybe what they just needed was to have all the money to get everything they wanted. Maybe now in overtime we'll see a rejuvenated T side coming in from them. I'd say at this point they probably exhausted most of their strats. They need to start hitting their shots. That's a good start there from Surreal to bring it back into a 4-on-4. Playing that close angle, it is an angle that players such as Fallen likes to play a lot. A lot of the time there will be another player up close on ramp to try and bait off of, but Surreal being the sole defender makes it work, gets 1 kill, gets the second as they try to push out. It will not actually be able to get the third there. It was looking like he should have been able to find the hat-trick, but for now it's going to be a 3-on-3. Stefan, I was going to say, in a bit of a tricky situation here. The op was posted on that position. The second he showed himself, he was going to be getting taken down, and now a 2-on-2 with a slight HP advantage for Epsilon to work with. Let's see if they can pull off the retake.
The retake needs to come in, and it's likely it will because Kato's only 12 HP, and Czech and Smooya, there are 2 players that won't mess this up. And there goes Smooya, proving me right. It'll be 16-15. Epsilon pull that one back out of the pits of despair. And now this will be them in the lead for the first time, I believe, on this game. And it's weird to say, but they will be in the lead for the first time.
Yeah, for the first time in the entire game. It was 14-2 at one point. This has been one round for alternate aTTaX and 14 for Epsilon. So yeah, just been a bit of a shit show for alternate aTTaX and swapping to the T side. I'm looking forward to them getting back over towards CT. I think if they can pick up 1 T round, then they're in a good position to try and chain the 3 together once they can get that double up set up out once again, because they'll have all the economy. But at this point, I'm not really confident that they can even get one on the T side.
Yeah, they only won 2 rounds on their T side in regulation. So did Epsilon, but again, there's the sort of fact that they were perhaps playing a little bit lackluster, needed to warm up a little bit. And definitely their players are starting to look a lot more potent, especially Robin. I mean, that's a player we've highlighted quite a lot now. I think you only have 1 kill perhaps on the T side. So that's obviously not great. And now the T side are going to be trying to go towards the B bomb site here. Alternate aTTaX, I don't think they pressured this too much, but this time they're going to put a lot of presence towards this side of that, so it all comes down to the hold from Jack. He's good for 1 kill as he takes down ECFN and now scurries in behind the smoke, and Smooya is there to help him out, and this is damage going back and forth, but it's all the Epsilon show as they will find all the kills, and now Cyrusen left alone. He's found 2, but he has 3 more to find, and Robin very close indeed. Takes him down and ends that one. 17-15. Epsilon looking unbelievably strong right now. Now, is it also too late to switch back to Epsilon?
You are never allowed to switch, so you're still on Epsilon, don't worry.
Oh, I'm all good.
You can't change prediction mid-game, that's just cheating. Yeah, it's just not how it works. So you stayed on Epsilon. It could have went bad. It was looking to be bad, but now you look like an absolute genius. As right now, alternate aTTaX going into this round. They had all the money, of course, from overtime. It allows for them to still get some sort of buyout, but it's not going to be perfect. They're lacking a bit in utility. They only have 3 AKs, 1 Galil, and a CZ onto Keto, so not quite as good as the buy for the CT side. Smooya gets some damage in, but he's also getting flanked out on short. Cosmian, though, actually does fall without getting a single kill, and Shaq just kind of playing around the flames here in an awkward position. Couldn't move, but he still manages to get work done from that spot. Able to find himself a couple of kills, and now it's all on to Hunden in a 1-on-3. Looking like indeed it should be Epsilon being able to claim all 3 rounds on the CT side.
That was as perfect as it gets, I guess. 3 rounds picked up for Epsilon coming into the first half of overtime. Coming into this one, they only need to find 1 more, so alternate aTTaX, I don't really feel too confident for them at all. They did have a good CT side, but that was obviously because Epsilon looked a bit shaky on their T side. But this time, Epsilon looking a lot stronger. They'll have the confidence, and this is where alternate aTTaX will have to step up. They have to win all the rounds here, and then on their CT side, and then win 1 more on their T side to try and take this. It's possible, or they have to take it first of all. It's the second overtime, I believe, or they might have actually a chance.
Yeah, they have to take it first into the second overtime. 18-18 means overtime number 2, so 3 rounds in a row for alternate aTTaX isn't enough to win, but they have to do that to keep themselves alive.
Ult comes out, the double up you highlighted on alternate aTTaX between Stefan and Cyrusen, and there's the opening kill. Takes down Jack towards middle. Man advantage gained for alternate aTTaX, and this is where they need to hold on. They find this opening kill, and they need to keep it intact, and they need to work off it as well, because when they find the opening kill, they've done it a couple of times now where they just sort of drop off. They don't try and work together. And that does give Epsilon a window back into the game, as they are able to find that trade quite quickly. But this time they've held on long enough for the trade not to come in quickly. It could come in at some point, as they will be going up towards B. And players should be able to hear this one. And Robin coming in with a bit of a late push, but actually decides to go back towards middle. And this is a bit of a weird play, but looks like they're just going to commit towards this B bomb site, leave 1 player inside of mid. But they are making liars of me as they start to fall back a little bit more. But finally, he tries to make his way up short, but ECFM will take Robin down. Stefan with 1 on the surreal. Oh, Cosmian tries to catch himself out there, but of course it is a 2 versus 5. And finally, alternate aTTaX might be able to get themselves another round here, Dean.
Yeah, it's looking pretty likely. Smooya found to jump out the window, having a little bit of trouble. Will end up just getting taken down by Stefan, and a little bit of an opportunity was given to Cosmian with that gap in the smoke, but he just got taken down in the end by Hunden. So there we go, alternate aTTaX getting themselves the first round. 2 more to go. Very, very doable, especially if they take this one. You can see then the economy for Epsilon won't be great.
Oh, but I don't know. Epsilon, I feel, will be able to take at least 1 here. I don't think alternate aTTaX will be able to win every single round, so they just need to win this one. Robin is going to make his way out towards top mid. Got that smoke in hand as well. Going to throw that. Oh, bit of a whiff smoke, actually. And now it'll be the man advantage picked up for Epsilon, but pulled back by ECFN. Luckily able to find the trade on the Surreal, but Smooya is still alive, and he's a player that's been doing damage. But luckily for ECFN, he's able to spray through the smoke, takes Cosmin, and now the man advantage is intact for alternate aTTaX now. They'll try and get that bomb down at Smooya to commit to it. Stefan will take sack. Or check. And now it is a 2-man advantage. Alternate aTTaX looking very, very strong. And it's only Smooya. 1 versus 4. He's got to hold this off. And he's in a very precarious position.
Screwed.
That Molotov will force him out of the angle. And then he's... Oh my goodness. Smooya's actually able to do something. I thought he might have been able to actually clutch that one out. But we'll go down in the end to Hunden. And that'll be 18-17.
Yeah, that was looking a bit awkward there. I don't think he really had a chance to kill the final two because they were just in positions where that trade had basically come in no matter what. As you've seen, once he peeked out, there was just kind of two players staring at him. With the other two, he had the chance for the one-on-ones. But it was good to at least get himself a couple of kills, I guess. It's not really a big deal because the economy, of course, in overtime is not really going to be broken unless you lose all the lose 2 rounds in a row. So Epsilon now on their last bite to see if they can close this one out or if we'll be heading into a second overtime.
You know, they'll have a bit of utility there on the T side. Just a little bit. There's going to be the Galil in this. Epsilon T side isn't looking too strong or convincing at all, really, as well. aTTaX have been doing a good job of shutting down the initial pushes that come through from Epsilon, but it's going to be a full commit towards this A bomb site yet again here. Didn't really work out last round. Let's see if it works out this time. Two players are in very actually aggressive angles here towards A, although they do have Cyverson playing that off a little bit more passively. So they can't play A on retake, they've just got to frag out. Here comes the push. It will be a first kill coming in by Surreal. Holding the fort as Keto gets himself 3. Finally goes down to Cosmin, but he's done his job perfectly and allowed his teams to excel here as Cyverson catches out Cosmin. The bomb now goes down and it's only Chak, and we're going to overtime number 2 here. Surely Chak has a 1 versus 3 in his hands.
Yeah, most likely. I don't really think he is. Well, he can definitely pull it off. We actually saw him pull off a 1-on-3 in the first half of regulation time, so starts it off good in this one, at least gets himself the first headshot. Has control of the bomb as well, and 38 seconds to work with, so let's see what he's going to be able to find. Smoke goes down, maybe able to just fake this one and try and actually force the fight. There you go, he gets himself a second, and now it's all into Stefan. This is looking pretty good for Chak after all. Good chance to try and clutch this one out. If this happens, this is going to be heartbreaking for aTTaX, that's all I can say, but oh, Stefan, he saves it, and it will indeed be a second overtime now.
That would have been unbelievable. Again, anticlimactic. We go into second overtime, and this is where things will step up. They have to step up for aTTaX. They get themselves the rounds on the T side. This could be a never-ending game, Dean, because these teams just suck on their T sides right now. It could be just on and on and on until one team just randomly flukes the T side round. Of course, Epsilon will have themselves starting on that T side this time, so they will have that chance to try and get their 1 round they need and perhaps grind out 3 on that CT side here. So going into it, they're going to pull out the singular ult, but looks like on the Smuya, and the 4 AKs are around it. On that CT side, however, the double op, the signature double op is out, and it is going to be Stefan and Cyverson equipping those in their armory, and they've got a few rifle presents around that as well.
Yeah. This double up setup for aTTaX has just been very useful. Epsilon as well had one of their own on the CT side between Smoothie and Surreal, so overall just the Mirage so far throughout this game, it seems to be very successful. Keo close ramp right now. Once the smoke begins to fade, he could be in for a bit of a surprise. We see a couple players are going to be waiting on the other side of the smoke, and Surreal actually finds him by just spamming through. As it begins to disappear indeed, the red dot gets spotted out on the radar, and Keo gives up his life, and a man advantage now obtained by Epsilon, and I think right now the first team to win a round on T side will be the one to take this game.
Yeah, for sure. Being able to find that man advantage early on definitely gives them that chance to do so. Just over a minute left. Plenty of time for this T side to work with and decide what they want to do. Their end game plan, perhaps. And it looks as though they're just going to walk on to A. And this is actually the call for me, unless ECFN able to do the work, takes down Cosmin. Robin a little bit scared to walk around that corner, perhaps. Perhaps he has a master plan in his brain. He's able to trade. ECFN goes down. Cyverson from the Palace is able to do the damage as well as he gets one on the shack. A nice shot from Hunden as he catches out Smuya. And now it's a 2 versus 3. Hunden holding the fort. Another kill for him, and it's only Surreal. Bomb goes down, but he's got 3 players to find, and they're all over the map. This is going to be impossible to deal with. And he's now stuck inside of the triple box. He needs to turn this into a series of 1 versus 1s. You know he's likely to be on the spot. The first kill comes in. He turns that one into a 1 versus 1. Nearly catches out the second player, but Stefan comes in from behind and nails the final shot. That is going to be aTTaX, 19-18, and around that finally could have broken the curse of the T side. Doesn't go their way. 19-18.
Yeah, just that was around there. Just kind of fell apart for Epsilon. Just the T side hasn't been really working for either team. I think it was 2:30 and 2 halves, correct? So yeah, we've seen 4 T rounds throughout this entire game. One being actually won. So just been very, very CT side. Both of these teams just seem to be better on the defense. When it's up to them to try and control the pace, they just don't really seem to be having much success. And Saracen on the CT side now looking to get a little bit more aggressive. He's pushing up towards the... he pushed out through connector, jumped out of the window to get into position to try and hold the mid-cross. But for now, at least, Epsilon taking this one quite passively, not really looking to try and take the fight, it doesn't seem.
Yeah, and they keep going for this A hit, but this time it looks as though it might be in a split on the cards because got the smoke set up, a couple of players towards middle with the bomb. And this could be a good approach. I mean, it really worked out. What happened was they got onto the side, but towards connector, they were getting shut down a lot of the time. So putting more players on that side of the map may help out. Look, perhaps it's just a fake and a diversion as they will run up short towards B. This is a huge play. Now Robin inside of connector. The players now making their way up towards the B bomb side, but it gets caught out by Syverson, able to take 2 players down, and he is the savior of alternate attacks right now. He will at least slip onto the site and get that bomb down, but Stefan is there, nice, and close, hits the shot, but it's not lethal. Oh my goodness, this is getting a bit awkward. Another kill comes in from the T side, but it's not even Nikito. He has to hold middle, he does take down Robin, so 1 versus 3. Cosmin has all the work to do, and he'll go down as Stefan confirms with the CZ. And there's 20 to 18 now.
Yeah, luckily enough, Epsilon can still get a buy, but I don't know. I don't really see any teams picking up T rounds at this point. It's just not happening at all. So I think aTTaX probably take this final round, and then if they can win a round on T side, I guess if they can, then I guess it'll be over. If not, Epsilon, they have their chance to try and bring it back on CT again and force it to another overtime.
They definitely want to force this into another overtime. Right now, neither team's looking as though they want to give this one up. Neither team want to give up the ghost, of course. They want to just try and win this. They've played for so long at this point that you don't want to lose just at the last second. Double up does come through for alternate attacks. It's going to be carried on over by Cyrus and Stefan. An AK and then 2 M4s over on that CT side with Epsilon on their last chance to win a T side round. They've got 3 AKs, a deagle, tiny bit of utility, and an op. So much more aggression towards middle this time, and this time it's Epsilon not finding too much ground, as they will take mid, but nothing else really coming out of it, and that smoke dissipates towards the connector. Syverson misses his chance. Doesn't hit. How does he hit that shot? Like, that was such a quick shot, but it's not lethal. Smooya allowed to escape with 22 HP. That's probably a saving grace right now for Epsilon. That could have been an easy kill for the alternate attack side there. There we go. Finally. Finishes off the job.
Nice return though by Robin. Actually does manage to get one while he walks out a ramp. Bringing it back to a 4-on-4. Kyoto close and sandwich. We've seen him getting a lot of work done from this position in the previous round. So let's see if he's going to be able to do it once again. Started off by at least getting one. Jack, even though he doesn't have his rifle out, someone manages to pull that one out and get himself a quick headshot. And actually Cosmian rather with the op is going to be able to find one also. But nice shot by Saracen to bring this one back. Double op retake now. Out of 4 players alive on the server, 3 of them have ops. And it will be, oh, I was going to say it will be Saracen being able to find one, but instead Stefan, he's going to be needed to come in from behind. There's no Surreal left in a 1-on-2. Looking to try and win this one out, get the first T round onto the board for Epsilon. And if he takes this, this will be just putting Epsilon in a pretty good position. He gets chased down, puts a Molotov in position, and now he'll wrap towards connector where the bomb is, I believe, planted for. So we can try and play time on this one. Right now, Stefan taps the bomb, has a smoke down. Let's see if the spam's going to come in correctly. And there we go, Surreal finds that round for Epsilon, up to 19. They're able to actually get 1 T round in the end.
Whew, that might be GG. If they're able to win the next 3 CT rounds.
Yeah, it's certainly possible.
Yeah, we haven't seen a team being able to pick up their T-side round in overtime just yet. So finally, Epsilon break the curse and now give themselves a good chance into this one. 31 and 28 for Smooya. So many deaths on the Epsilon side. There's a little bit less on that alternate attack side. I think it was just more the fact that the amount of deaths coming through in that opening sort of half, because it was just so dominant from alternate attacks. They were just shutting players down left, right, and center with multiple rounds where they kept at least 4 alive. So Epsilon a little bit shaky at the start, but definitely back in this one. Double up setup coming out on the CT side. Surreal and Smooya carrying that on board. Smooya misses a bit of an unorthodox shot for himself, and that will be at least a T-side player allowed to walk out mid. Gratitude to Smooya, but Syverson won't miss that one. Smooya goes down. Man advantage game for alternate attacks now.
Yeah, this is putting them in a really good position. That nade gun in was perfect, but he was still able to find the shot through the True to debris that was thrown up in the way of a scope, so good work to find the opening kill. As aTTaX now with the first blood on the T side, in a good position to try and take this round and at least secure it to be another overtime, even if they aren't able to get any more afterwards, but give themselves a bit of chance to actually try and take it, of course. Robin now in jungle with the op. A couple of players coming from Connector, maybe able to perhaps catch him off guard. There's one ramp, one palace, and they're going to split towards this A bomb site, which currently the CTs are just quite playing quite passively on. They're kind of giving it up, but there we go. Cosmin on the ladder, able to find one. Stefan does get the tread successfully on towards A. There's a one-man advantage is going to be a pain for aTTaX, but their HP isn't really looking too great. So a couple of rogue bullets perhaps will be able to finish them off. As Keto yet to get his way over towards the bomb site. Bomb is down. A kill coming in for the CT side. Surreal gets himself a second. Oh, doesn't quite get the hat-trick. That looked like it was on, but it's not really needed. Jack instead will be the one to close him down, and Cosmin from Connector with the final does allow Epsilon to equalise the scoreline.
Epsilon now on the verge of taking the lead. 26 and 33 on Robin. That's insane. The way he's just come back into this game is unbelievable. That first half was abysmal from him. Now he's back in this game. He's pretty much carried Epsilon on that CT side, so it's good to see him back in the mix. And this is where he's more comfortable on that CT side in the aTTaX. I don't know why, but both teams just seem to shape up and go towards that A site with pretty much all their players. It hasn't really worked out too often, so I don't know why they keep doing it. But perhaps that's all they know. Here they go out of the palace. It is going to be surreal. Finding that opening finally for Epsilon. A second follow-up from Robin. Oh my goodness. Robin goes huge. A double for him as he finds the AK. And now it's Kiddo and Cyrusen to keep their team alive here. Otherwise, Epsilon will pretty much get rid of them and dispose of them and send them off the server. There goes Smee. A nice shot. Kiddo goes down. Robin now slips his way into the sandwich. And he'll take himself a Cyrusen. And that will be map point. Series point for Epsilon now.
Oh, this has been a very weird game. It's just been so back and forth. It's like one team takes the momentum for quite a while, and then it just goes back the other way. You think that maybe momentum would be building up, the confidence would be building up, but it seems like it just kind of goes from full amount to the minimum amount, and then the other team just gets rolling again. And it's just a while before you really see the players starting to step it up again on either side. And right now, aTTaX, they're in a really bad position. As we said before, that one round bin one on T side, maybe just enough to push either team over the edge, and right now it's looking very, very possible for Epsilon. There we go, Smee gets the opening kill.
That's exactly what they need coming into this one. aTTaX are not going to be happy with that. They try to walk out of the side. Kato and Stefan actually find 2 kills, so we're into a 3 versus 3. Bomb going down, and now there's a bit of a competition going. This could go to another overtime here, as Epsilon are going to be trying to hold a fort. Smooya going to miss a shot, and that does give now aTTaX a huge chance into this one. There's going to be a Molotov deploying towards short. Stefan has to walk into the crosshair of Smooya, tries to challenge him, but no one comes out of that one alive, and Robbins takes down ECFN. It's now only Cyrusen. Are Epsilon about to do this? Are they about to steal and clutch victory? What a shot from Smooya right through the smoke. Takes down Cyrusen. That is unbelievable. And that is going to be 22 to 20. Epsilon close it out in the end.